Oh, I gotta shut them curtains. Curtains. Welcome back. Second segment of the TV show here, February 1st, 2014. Super weekend. Getting ready for the Super Bowl. We've had a couple callers this morning. We've been discussing our poll. Don't forget, you can still head over to the website and vote on our poll. Would you rather watch the Super Bowl live at the stadium there in New Jersey, or would you rather watch it at home on TV? I've been thinking about this. A lot of casual fans, they like to see the commercials. No commercials in the stadium.
That's right.
Of course, you're not going to pay $4,000 for commercials.
No.
I put my thought into this, and I'd say most Super Bowls, 90% of the time, I'd rather watch it at home. This year, I try not to root for anybody while I'm on the show. I try and be a little bipartisan here, but I'm a big Broncos fan. I've been a Broncos fan my whole life. I like to be there. I don't have $4,000 to spend to get in, but I'd like to be there and watch them in the Super Bowl. First time it's happening since I was little. I was 8 or 9 years old last time we went to the Super Bowl, and if it wasn't them, I'd rather be at home. But I think it'd be cool to be there and see it happen.
I'd rather be at home. I mean, maybe if it was free.
Yeah, if anybody out there has tickets that they want to give us, we'll go.
But do you know how long it probably takes to get, 2 minutes? I mean, you'd probably have to try to get there today.
Yeah.
I mean, walk. Can you imagine how crazy it is there right now?
I'd imagine there's some kind of subway or some kind of system that'll just take you there. You ain't got to get in a car. I've never been to New York City. I've been in a few big cities, but I've never been there. I was in Portland for a while, and there was a train that you rode that took you everywhere. You didn't have to worry about traffic.
And think of how many people there's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's
what is 80,000 that it holds, and then you got people there just for the parties, the big wigs.
Well, and there's always like 7 or 8 million people living there.
You're right.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty busy. Looks like we already got us a second caller this morning. Let's get him on the line, get him ready to go. All right, we've got our second caller this morning with us. Looks like we got Daniel Baker from over near Brownsville, Kentucky. How are you this morning, Daniel?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
Oh, doing great. What do you think? Would you rather watch a game at home or live in the stadium?
I would much rather prefer watching it at home or somebody else's house. I'd rather sit in 68, 69 degree house rather than watching it in a windy stadium at around 40 degrees, even though it's not going to be as cold as I thought it would be. But much rather watch it at home.
Do you have big plans to watch the Super Bowl?
Well, we're a few of us are getting together tomorrow at our buddy's house. That's the plan. So even if I had free tickets given to me for the Super Bowl, I wouldn't even go.
That's all right. I don't remember getting my invite for the party.
Well, it's kind of, if you're in the Baker family, you might get an invite.
Brownsville's probably too far for me to travel anyways.
Yeah, we're pretty cleanish over here.
So, what are your thoughts this morning? Talk a little NCAA players, little Super Bowl. What do you got for us?
Well, I've been following your conversation on both topics. As far as players being paid in college, I'm totally against them getting cash benefits. I was listening to either you or Daniel Warren was saying brought up the idea of having insurance for all college players, and I like that idea. I think that's, of all the revenue that NCAA is receiving, I think that would be a very good idea to consider, to prevent, players that have bright futures possibly playing professional. A lot of you see it every year. Players can get a career-ending injury, and that would at least help, compensate them for their medical issues.
And see, this is, in my opinion, I don't want to cut you off, but in my opinion, this is something that the NCAA and the major conferences should do. They've all got TV deals now, and they've all made a lot of money, and they've got so many people, they can get a good rate for a group. This is something that should be done at the NCAA and the conference level, not the school. This insurance money should not be coming from the school, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. And then as far as and I think PJ brought this up about the idea of a trust fund for players who graduate.
Right.
You know, whether they graduate in 3 or 4 years, if they graduate,
Right.
I don't really see an issue. You know, if they get a trust fund set up and they receive the funds after they graduate, they're not receiving money while they're playing, so therefore they're still in an amateur athlete status. But I like that idea. And another thing is I don't see the big issue in allowing players to sign autographs, or if they want to sell their jersey that they've worn a ball game or the Final Four. I don't see any problem with that. But I do not like the idea of them receiving cash benefits, though.
So, do you think it'd be all right for a player to sign his autograph and get money for it right then?
It's a slippery slope. In a way, you know, if it was just as simple as that, I don't see a problem. But I can see it becomes a bigger issue because once you go down that path, there's not much of a way you can go back.
Right.
I can see how, you know, a school can promise an athlete, you know, these certain circumstances where you'll receive so much money with autographs and so forth, versus if you went to a smaller school.
Right. Well, and they kind of get that anyway by saying if you come here and play, you're more likely to go to the NFL and make big money as opposed to going to another school.
And if you think about when they graduate in these things, think about Jack Givens or someone like that that's a big-time player at the UK. The man can still go anywhere in the state of Kentucky he wants, charge $1,000 if people are going to come in and get his autograph because he played at the University of Kentucky. Think about other people that play at the University of Kentucky, maybe never went to the NBA or other things. They can still go around the state and get paid. I'm sure there are places in Texas where old Texas football players are still setting up shop, charging $1,000 and getting autographs. It's something that you're going to see happen after they graduate. And I think what TJ's saying is put that money there. Put some kind of a legal system around it where it's okay. You know, it's not going to get you fired, but you can't have this money till you graduate.
Right.
I agree. I think that's something they should consider.
Them inheriting that trust fund is no different than a player getting drafted and getting their signing bonus a month after the season.
Right.
It's the same concept.
Well, what do you think about Super Bowl? You got a prediction, Daniel?
Yeah, I've got the Broncos over the Seahawks, 24-16. I don't see the Broncos I don't see the Broncos being held to under 20 points, and then at the same time, I can't see the Seahawks offense scoring 20 points. I think it's a pretty simple prediction for me as far as who the winner will be. I'd be shocked if the Denver Broncos did not win. I think that Peyton Manning, like you said, TJ, won't have an interception. I think he'll have a couple touchdowns, no interceptions, and he'll be holding the MVP trophy at the end of the game.
All right, that's a bold prediction from another man this morning. We appreciate you calling in this morning. Appreciate you listening. Keep everybody straight over there in Brownsville for us.
Absolutely, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So he's pretty much on board with us on the NCAA and the.
I like how he said. I like how he said it was a slippery slope that you go down when you open the door to paying players. Think about the federal government for a little while.
Okay.
Think how things started when we first started Social Security. We first started back in the day with FDR when we were trying to get out of the depression. We started giving people a little bit of money. That opened the door. Before that, there was nothing from the government helping people out. That opened the door. You can't take it back. We've seen it. You can't cut those things out. And that might be what happened if we open the door, and that's the fear that people have.
Right, but you're not creating any new money in the economy this way.
I agree.
So
I agree.
It's a little different concept. I mean, I see really no problem with a player going and getting his autograph and that money getting put into a trust fund for later. And, people will argue, well, some schools have the bigger boosters that will attract them there so they can make more money off their autographs. But those same schools are already attracting players for the purpose of going to the NFL and making money at the next level anyways.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, it's an argument. I just don't believe it's a very sound argument.
And think about even the people who aren't going to graduate. The big schools are going to graduate, but aren't going to go to the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball or professional hockey, whatever it is. Think about all the car lots in Texas that have Texas football players selling cars. And think about, I think Brandon Stockton sells cars in Kentucky somewhere. Brandon Buddha, if you're out there listening.
I thought you were talking about Brian Stockton.
No, Brandon Stockton, Mr. Basketball, played Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, and he probably could have got that job. Seemed like a smart guy. But when you play a sport in a state at a big-time school like that, people want you on their staff. You've got people ready to play for you.
We just got a text from a listener saying that Greene County game was canceled. We do realize that. We were just kind of wondering.
We don't know why. I know they played. They've been playing 3 nights in a row. They've already played 3 games this week. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I really don't know the reason. We just know that it's canceled.
I saw there was a MRSA outbreak somewhere at a high school. Maybe
recently.
Oh yeah, this week they canceled school one day, but it wasn't Greene County. But I mean, could have moved.
I saw a story about MRSA, but it wasn't a high school.
We got a little shout out from Metcalf Echo on the Twitter. We appreciate that. I believe that's run by some students at the high school there.
I think so.
Little blog deal.
They've always got rhymes. If you go over there and give them a follow, they'll send you a rhyme. I don't know why, but they do it. It's pretty cool.
So I know you've got some Super Bowl trivia for us.
Yeah.
So why don't you provide us with a little trivia if you can this morning?
All right, TJ, I got 5 questions for you. These are all records that don't look at my computer.
I'm keeping eye contact.
All right. I got 5 records in the Super Bowl that I want to ask you about. Do you know who has won the most Super Bowls as a player and how many? It's one person that has the most, and I don't think you're going to get it.
One person who has won the most Super Bowls.
Yep.
I'm going to assume that they're not a quarterback.
That's a safe bet.
I'm going to assume that they've won more than 4.
That's another safe bet.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'll even give you a hint. They don't play offense.
Okay, so they're a defensive player. Are we talking in the 90s, in the 2000s? Both? Earlier?
90s and earlier.
Uncle. I don't know.
Charles Haney. He was a D lineman. Played for the Cowboys and the 49ers.
I knew that. Charles Haney. I was just afraid to say it.
No, you didn't.
You had no idea. No idea. No.
I didn't either.
Charles.
I assumed that 4 was the most anybody had ever won. But I was incorrect in assuming that. Charles Haney had 5. Quarterback with the most Super Bowl starts. One of these should be easy. The other one, if you think about it, you'll probably get it. I think you can get both of these.
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
Quarterback with the most Super Bowl starts. Not wins, but starts. It's a tie. There's 2 of them.
There's a tie. Did one of them win a lot of Super Bowls and one of them not win a lot of Super Bowls?
Correct.
Joe Montana?
No.
Sims?
No. All in 4. Both at 4.
But 4? Joe Montana made 4 Super Bowls, didn't he?
Yeah, 4 is, that's where you're at. We need to go more than 4.
Oh, we need to go more than 4. Brett Starr?
No. I don't even know.
Oh.
These are easy. We're in the modern era.
Oh,
okay.
All right. Tom Brady?
That's 1.
All right. How many has Tom Brady made?
He's got 5.
He's got 5.
And another person has 5 starts. And there are also people that played him more but didn't play. They were just on a team. But anyway.
Recent? Is this one recent too?
Not as recent as Tom Brady, but in our lifetime.
Oh, in our lifetime. I'm going to assume it's not Ben Roethlisberger.
No.
I think he's made 3 or 4 though.
I think he's made 3.
Okay. Man, I was feeling good about the Sims in Montana. Then I forgot about Brady. Dallas. Oh, John Elway.
John Elway.
Wow.
He won 2, played in 5.
Yeah.
Took him 3 to win 1. So.
5. Yeah.
Oldest player to ever play in a Super Bowl. You should know this one because you kind of like it. You liked his team there for a while.
The oldest player. Is it wide receiver?
No. Pretty safe to assume what position he plays.
A kicker?
Yes.
Vinatieri?
Matt Stover. 42 years, 11 days.
Well, I'm 0 for 3. Let's see if I can't get the 4th one right.
You won't
got
get
half
this
one.
You won't get this one.
Okay.
Most passing yards in a Super Bowl. You should remember this one vividly. It's not real recent, but it's one that sticks in my memory better than a lot of Super Bowls.
Am I supposed to guess how many yards or who the quarterback was?
Who the quarterback was, and I'll tell you how many yards when you get it.
Threw for the most passing yards
In a Super Bowl.
in a Super Bowl. It's not Drew Brees.
No.
It's
He
not.
has the most passing touchdowns and most passing completions in a Super Bowl, but not the most yards.
Okay.
He's tied in completions. I'll give you a hint.
It's not Peyton Manning.
No. The game was decided by 6 inches.
Kurt Warner!
Yes!
Kurt Warner!
441 yards in Super Bowl in 2000 versus the Titans. Last one, I think you can get this one.
Okay.
Most interceptions thrown in a game in the Super Bowl by one quarterback.
Most interceptions. It's not Peyton Manning, is it?
No.
I
No.
know he threw a couple there against New Orleans. I should get this.
You should get this if you think about quarterbacks who somehow ended up in a Super Bowl and a team that's pretty terrible right now that they had a good run with him, but we're never really that good. But a very strong fan base.
The Raiders?
That's their team.
What's his
They only
name?
had one quarterback take the Super Bowl recently.
It was the year before that they got beat by New England on the field goal.
Yep.
What was his name?
Rhymes with Cannon.
Gannon. Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
Rich Gannon.
So
That's-
5 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
Who did they play? You have that? You don't got that?
No, I'm pretty sure it was the Redskins, but I don't know if that's right. But I think it was the Redskins.
Man, that was a terrible team to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. But
I couldn't think of his name.
that's my 5 Super Bowl record trivia thing I had for TJ. I looked those up last night. So, while we're talking about the Super Bowl,
All right.
I want to give you my
Give us your
prediction.
breakdown here.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Denver fan, and so my heart is picking Denver. But I wanted to come up with a way that I could quantify that and see if I was right. So I made a system. I took all the points that Denver has scored.
This is going to be complicated, so everybody listen very closely because I still don't understand what it
I'm
is.
going to post it on our website. I'm going to post it under my articles after the game so you can read it. After the show so you can read it. But I took all the points they've scored, all the yards that they've amassed, passing and rushing, and total yards. And then I took the defense for the Seahawks and how many points they'd allowed, how many yards they allowed total, how many passing, how many rushing yards. And then I did the reverse. The offense for Seattle, defense for Denver. I added all those numbers together, divided them by 34, and came up with a baseline of an average points that they would score against each other based on how many their defense allows, how many that they score. Denver's point baseline that I came up with was 26.15. Seattle's was 25.5. So we're going to round those, call them 26. They're both 26. They're dead even. I mean, that's amazing. They're dead even. So I had to keep going because they tied.
So tell us what you did next.
I gave them 0.5 points for that. I'm going to give them 1 point for each category they win, come up with the final score. I gave them 0.5 points each because they tied. Next, I did the yards per game. Denver, when I did theirs, they came up with 365 yards per game if they had played the Seattle Seahawks every single game this year. That's what they would have gotten. Seattle would have got 343 yards per game if they played Denver every game this season. That's +1 for Denver. Next, I did passing yards per game. If Denver had played Seattle every game, then had 256 passing yards per game. Seattle would have had 228 if they played Denver every game. +1 again for Denver. This next one is a little less leading, a little misleading, and a little less useful, I think. It's the rushing yards per game. That's because the Broncos started out very weak in their rushing and defense. The last couple weeks, they've been very good, so I think this one's going to be misleading. But Denver would have 109 rushing yards per game. Seattle would have 118.5 rushing yards per game. We do know that Denver can shut down power rushers, though. But that's just the fan talking. Regardless, I give Seattle 1 point. So altogether, Denver has 2.5 points, and Seattle has 1.5 points. You add that to their baseline of 26, that gives Denver 28.5, round up to 29. Seattle had 25.5 plus 1.5, that gives them 27. So my final score, predicted by the math and by the science, 29-27 Denver, 66 total points scored in the game. Scientific method proved it. Boom! There you go.
Denver wins.
Denver
Don't
wins.
even play the game.
That's all you needed.
All right, a couple more shout-outs here. I see that Leah Logston mentioned us on Twitter. Looks like Brooke Burris is following us. We also got a follow from Briley Tucker. We appreciate that. Looks like Justin Hamlin added us on Facebook, so we appreciate all that interaction. Now, real quick, if we got some time here, I'm going to go over my 5 mock headlines for Monday. These are headlines that you're guaranteed to see in the newspaper after the Super Bowl Monday morning.
I've read these headlines, and I don't think okay, let's hear them.
It's a really tough crowd with this guy. Let's, if y'all can call in and compliment me, I'd really appreciate it. First one, no fly zone.
I like that one. That was my favorite. Seahawks fly, in case you don't get it.
No horsing around. Denver doesn't horse around, beats Seattle.
That was the one I didn't like.
Denver stampedes Seattle.
Pretty good. Not real original, but good.
Bronx ground Seahawks.
I like this one too. Pretty good.
All right, and the fifth one, and maybe the best one, puff puff pass, Manning lights up Seattle.
Yeah, this is...
Both have legal marijuana.
I don't think that's going to be in there. That might be on some internet report. It's not going in the New York Times. But
the National Examiner, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
The one at Walmart with aliens?
That's pretty good. I like them. They were at least entertaining. Well, what we got? What's next on the show this morning?
Well, we've had some NASCAR changes. I know there's...
we've got sorry.
Okay.
Rick Gannon threw 5 interceptions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tony Dungy, right?
Yep.
Or maybe it was the year after Tony Dungy left.
Anyway, we had someone text in and tell us that. Thank you.
That was Baker from Brownsville.
We don't make enough money. We don't make any money, but
we don't have
hire a researcher.
We don't have a research team or a phone screener. We've got me and Daniel, and we got Rocco sniffing around here. So we do what we can. But like I was saying, there's been some NASCAR changes. I realize there's probably not a huge amount of NASCAR fans listening to us. And something I've kind of encountered is that there used to be a lot of NASCAR fans around here, and after the death of Senior, everybody pretty much just stopped following it.
Yeah, Senior was one of us, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And Junior's tried.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the same appeal that Senior had. I mean, if you saw him outside of a race car, he had a fishing pole in his hand, or he was out doing things that we all did. He made a lot of money, but he never seemed like that. He was just a people person, one of the guys, so to speak. And I think maybe that's kind of what happened. And he drove different. He wasn't scared to take people out. He wasn't scared to pass you on the grass. Now, I'll tell you who's got a little bit of this in him is Keselowski, where he's just kind of like, screw the rules. I'm going to win this race. I don't care if you get in my way. What matters to me is coming across the finish line first, whether NASCAR likes it or not. And another problem is that NASCAR has come in with so many rules and so many things. They try and bottle up personalities, kind of spit out Jeff Gordon. That's what they want to do. They want every driver to be Jeff Gordon.
And Jimmy Johnson.
And
some have even referred to these changes as the Jimmy Johnson rule. I'm just going to break it down real fast for you. There's 26 regular season races, which is the way it was before. And the chase is going to expand from having 12 drivers to 16 drivers. Well, actually, there was 13 last year because they had to let Gordon in.
When they let him in.
So it will expand from 12 to 16. There will still be 10 races, but it will be in 4 segments. You're going to have 4 drivers eliminated after every 3 races. So it will wheel its way down and the points reset after every 3.
Which I like, because it puts a little more interest on each race. After 3 sets, you eliminate points. After 3 races, you eliminate some drivers, and the points reset, and I do like that.
Right. But so when you come down to the 10th race, you have 4 drivers who are eligible to win the chase, who start with 0 points that race, basically. So, and when Brian France, who is the head of NASCAR now, came out to the press conference yesterday, this was the first words that came out of his mouth. I believe it was the great poet Miley Cyrus who once sang, "Came in like a wrecking ball." When you have a head of NASCAR coming out and beginning a press conference like that, there's obviously a disconnect between the president of NASCAR and NASCAR fans.
I agree.
I'm guessing if you go to a Miley Cyrus concert, that those people probably won't be the same people that are at a NASCAR event.
No. Now, if you went to her daddy's concert, there's been plenty of NASCAR fans there.
Exactly. And that's one of the problems I just want to touch on real fast. You had France Sr. and France Jr., who most people liked. France Jr. leaving in 2003, and then now France coming in, Brian France, and taking over in 2004, and that's when the chase started, and that's when the love for Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson kind of began, drivers like that. and I believe it's turned a lot of people, not just seniors' death, but him becoming the president, I believe, has turned a lot of people off.
Yeah, NASCAR went from something that was a little more exciting to watch, a little more. There's a little more parity in it. You know, you had anybody could win a race, and to now it's you've got to say the right things. You can't be yourself. You've got to drive between the lines, keep it 55 miles an hour. You know, it's I don't like it.
Real fast, we got our third caller on the line today. I think it's Brandon. Are you there, Brandon?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
I know you're wanting to vote on the poll this morning. Where would you rather watch the Super Bowl, at MetLife Stadium, where it's about 40 degrees with 80,000 people, or at home on a TV where it's about 70 degrees?
Yeah, I think I'd rather definitely be at home. The choosing of the stadium probably has a lot to do with it. I don't like to sit out in the cold. I mean, I guess it's part of the experience, but I'd much rather be at home watching it where I can eat free food and not have to worry about.
But we don't all get free food. Some of us pay for our food, but it's a lot cheaper than stadium food.
Yeah, I'd imagine to get wings at a stadium. I guess you can do that.
I know you can. Look, I've only been to one game ever where I could get wings, and that was in the Yum Center. I'm sorry, I'm a UK fan, but the Yum Center is awesome.
You can get them in a box at Western.
That's true. Yeah, but yeah, I don't have a box at Western.
But if you have connections.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can get some pretty good stuff at Great American Ballpark.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can get wings, but
chili dog.
You can get like a pulled pork sandwiches.
With chili on it. French fries with chili on it. Ice cream, chili on it.
But what do you have for us today, Brandon? What do you want to talk about?
Well, probably about the NCAA double players getting paid.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I first heard about it, my first answer was, I mean, they definitely shouldn't get paid. I mean, I'm paying tuition to get my education, and my tuition's going to go to them. But then when I really started looking at what the Northwesterners are asking for in their union, it just kind of made it a lot more logical. They really just want their whole college experience to be paid for. They don't want just their tuition to be paid for. They want their gas money paid for. They want all their health care paid for.
But why would a college athlete need a lot of gas money?
Let me ask you this. What if we buy 5 team vans and say, take the van out?
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea. I mean, 5 vans for every school would be kind of expensive, I'd imagine.
No. I mean, think about, instead of paying everybody a stipend, you go buy 5 vans, you're looking at $100,000, but they're going to last you more than a year. And if you're going to give every single athlete in your school $1,000 to run around on, that could be $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 that you're running into there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got to put gas in the van.
When you're going to buy a van, you're going to have to buy the van and then pay for gas, rather than they're going to drive their own car and you're going to pay for their gas.
Buy them a Prius.
Okay, well, you didn't say a Prius, you said a van.
I know.
You could buy a plug-in car or something.
I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, most schools have transportation service.
I mean, they can ride the bus wherever they really need to go.
And you can ride bus places you wanted to go. It'd take you to the mall. It'd take you to the movies.
Right.
It'd take you to Walmart. It'd take you out to shop. It'd take you to different restaurants. You could ride at other places if you wanted to. And listen, if you have some kind of emergency and you need to go home, the school can buy you a plane ticket home. And if you just can't afford to go home on breaks, the school's allowed to send you home already. So
apparently that's not the case everywhere.
Brandon,
because that was another thing they wrote in their clause in the union thing. They wanted paid vacations to go home and see their family because, I mean, I guess when you do scout students, you go far away and scout to your college, and so they do have a ways to travel. And they wanted their airplane ticket and their stuff paid for so they can go back home and visit their families during the break.
All right, if you could, I want you to hold that thought. I want you to stay with us, and you come back after the break. We're going to have to take a quick break here. Just like before, if you listen to us on Spreaker, you need to refresh the app or the browser. Same thing on our website. Unless you're watching us live, just hang in there, and you'll get a little behind-the-scenes look.